Well, guess what? I guess I'm a sucker for punishment, because here we are working on this car again. Yeah, I told myself I didn't know if I was going to work on it or fix it. And then I was like, you know what? I have an empty spot in the garage. I might as well push it back in and work on it. As you can see from the push marks in the garage, this tire is the broken tie rod. And I actually pushed this in here with my daily driver. So I did some damage to my Lexus. But that's okay. You know, I don't really give a crap about the Lexus anyway. So here's the things that I think are wrong with this. Axle, tie rod, obviously on this corner. Frost plug, I think, maybe hole in the block of a water jacket in the back. I'll have to take a real good look at it. This frame rail is not bad. It's starting to come over a bit, as you can see it right about there. But this one here is a different story. You can tell by the huge gap she's actually bending at firewall now, and she's going sideways, which is not really a bad thing. Going sideways gets me away from the pulleys. These threaded rods here would have helped a lot, but unfortunately they had to be cut to run this promoter. So what my plan is jack this thing up, get it up on some jack stands, change out all the parts I need to change out in this corner, which shouldn't be that bad. A tie rod, it's a complete tie rod, so maybe 40 minutes for that. An axle, maybe another 40 minutes for that. So 2 hours, this thing will be fixed. The hard thing is going to be the frost plug. It is not easy to get at the back of the motor, and something tells me it's going to be one of the difficult ones. Yeah, you can't even see that. Let me see if I can get a light going. So what probably came out, this is a motor that's on the ground. See, that's the easy one, so that's probably not the one that fell out. That's a hard one, so maybe, but my guess is going to be that one. Or maybe even the one behind the power steering pump. It's probably going to be one of the most difficult ones to get at. So that's basically going to determine if I have to pull the motor out of this car or not to do the frost plug. So before I do the axle, I think the first thing I'm going to do is try to locate which frost plug it is and see if it's one of the ones I can do in the block. Sorry, with the motor in the car. So first things first, jack that up, get it safe on jack stands, and go underneath there with a light and find out what the issue is. So let's get going. Well, this is a bit different. This is ingenuity at its finest. Sometimes in the demolition derby world, when stuff breaks, you don't have a whole lot of time to fix it. And sometimes in our world, up here in southern Ontario, when something breaks at one of these smaller shows, usually you have about 20 to 30 minutes to fix it. And that's if you're in a good heat. If you're in the first heat, sometimes you'll get an hour. If you're in the second heat, sometimes you'll get 30 minutes. And it all really depends on how long they're taking to clear the track, basically. So Steven used a lot of seat belts. And it may not be the prettiest, but it worked. It gave him back a little bit of steering so he could get into the finals. And the damage to this tie rod is quite impressive. I'll get you guys over here so you can take a look. I haven't had many tie rods break like this, but this is probably a catastrophic break to the tie rod. If you take a look, the tie rod is bent almost 90 degrees. Now, where the show ran, we're not allowed to modify steering in any way. So you're not allowed to have any aftermarket parts, you're not allowed to have any extra steel added to them. So that's why these tie rods are stock. And actually, believe it or not, on 90% of my cars that I run, the tie rods are stock. But if you take a look, it actually took the ball right out of the boot. So what Steven did is he tied a couple knots with seat belt and then gear clamped the seat belt on there so it wouldn't come off. Ingenuity at its finest is what I like to think of here. And This is not going to be a hard fix. The hardest part of this is going to be doing the frost plug. The axle, you guys know I can do axles in no time. Tie rods, I got a whole pile of them because I save them from cars I send to scrap. If they're good, I save them. So that's not an issue. But I just want to point out at some of these derby drivers, and the ingenuity that they do is crazy. So let's see if we can head underneath there with the light and find the frost plug and come up with a game plan for all this. Oh, I didn't jack the car up high enough. I can't get underneath this car. It's not tall enough. My belly's hitting. My belly's hitting. So I've got this thing jacked up a lot higher. So hopefully my big gut can fit underneath here. Okay, easiest one to get at is good. Next one, which is kind of easy, is good. That means that it's the bad ones. Pretty sure that means I gotta pull the motor for this. Maybe it's something different, I don't know, but... Nope. There's the frost plug that's missing. That's horrible! That's horrible! Why would you fall out? Why? Why? Legitimately, that is the worst frost plug to fall out. Why is it always the hard one that comes out? Oh, God. Well, on a lighter note, you guys have been asking me a lot about my hair in the comments. And I'm going to try to grow a mullet. I figured that would make the wife the most upset of any haircut I could get. But I might take a little bit farther. I might get like frosted tips and stuff. And just see how far my wife will let me go with my hair before she shaves it while I'm sleeping. But that's why my hair is getting super long. It's because I'm trying to make my wife upset. And so far it's working. But my worst fears have come true. It is the dreaded, horrible frost plug. So the one that has come out, let's see if you guys can see that, is that one right there. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. What we got to do is we got to put a bar across the top of the motor. We have to pull out this motor mount. We got to take out this axle, put the frost plug back in. This is going to be a big, big job. This is not nice. Bad, Toyota, bad. And then we got to hit it in there and not hit it too far. Bad, Toyota, bad. So that's pretty much what we're going to do, I guess. This is not going to be a small job. So basically what I got to do is I got to pull half shaft the passenger side axle, because this is a 4-cylinder, you get half shaft axles. I have to put a come along from here to the motor to lift the motor up, and then pull out the rear motor mounts, pull that out through the bottom, undo all the mounts that hold the axle to the block, pound the axle out, get to that, pound the new frost plug in, which I do have frost plugs. I don't know about you guys, but when I buy stuff off Rock Auto, they remember all the stuff that I buy from them. And they send me deals when Toyota stuff goes on sale. So, right here, I got an email telling me that Toyota frost plugs were going on sale for 21 cents. I was like, how many of you guys have in stock? And they said 10. So I bought 10 frost plugs. All brand new. I do the same thing with serpentine belts. I got 10, or I think I even bought 11 at the time, AC delete belts. But I believe that's a 35 mil frost plug that came out. It's just not going to be a nice job fixing it. So, do I fix it? Do I not fix it? The frame's kind of messed up. Back of the car is pretty nice. Front's still pretty stout. With this bumper, I'm kind of limited to where I can run it now because now Ontario and Edge and Mum's Motorsports and a lot of the local fair boards around me do not allow chrome bumpers on the Minis. Thrill Show allows chrome bumpers, but they allow square tubing, so I'd be better off just putting square tubing on the front of it. I don't know. I think that I'm going to put it in. I don't know. It's dead of winter. You're not doing anything else, but I should just put this thing in. Well, we figured out what's wrong with it. Now we're just trying to decide if it's worth it. I think it's worth it. You know what? As a good backup car, this thing is pretty good. You know, it's been sitting around for a year. I built this thing last June. It's February now. So it's been built for half a year. I've had it for 2. It's not ready for scrap yet. I really don't think it's ready for scrap yet. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna fix this one up. So I think that's where I'm gonna end today's video. I think it's totally worth it, to be honest. I think it's worth it to have a car that is ready, available, sitting there. We'll start it up with a battery. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the time, take the energy, do the work, make this thing a good derby car again. So, I guess we're gonna be changing a frost plug. You guys want to know how to change a frost plug? Bet you guys do. Come back tomorrow and I'll show you guys how to change a frost plug, because it looks like we're going to be doing one of them. That's crazy that this car, the night before the derby, we had in here running. We didn't even fill the radiator up with water. It was perfect. Everything was good. Go to take it to the derby and frost plug is out of the block. That is crazy. But you know, I'm not a big fan of winter demolition derbies. I like going to them to get the content for the YouTube channel. I like building cars, but I hate winter derbies. They're hard on you. They're hard on the cars. You're cold all the time. Something breaks. You have 30 minutes to fix it. You're struggling with the cold, struggling in the snow. You're soaking wet because you're rolling around in the snow. It'd be different if it was an indoor winter derby, but we'll get this thing fixed up for spring. Don't know where she's going to go, but she's ready. Not yet, but she will be. So thanks for watching, guys, and come back tomorrow.